Okay, so today President Ruto made a speech after what we saw during the Saba demos, and it was a fiery it was a fiery speech, and that's what I want us to have a look at today, and have a reaction and what we think about what he said. And we'll also see Rigathi's reaction afterwards, because after he made the speech, Gachagua also made a speech, and we can see where we go from there. But first, let's start with Ruto's speech today.
Mwana wa mbere ni Ruto we, ni Ruto yo. Dera tengo tia mwakula, mufwale mwana. Aya, wananchi wa Kanairo hamjambo. Bwana Yesu asifiwe. Hebu mnisalimie mikononi nione watu wa Nairobi, asanteni sana. Basi, kwanza mimi nimesema poleni, nimekuja asubuhi sana. Nilikuwa nikuje kidogo iko sawa? Hiyo ya mapema ndio best.
So this was his speech today in the morning.
Leo mimi nimefika hapa kwa sababu tuko na mpango, na ni mpango wa kubadilisha Kenya. Na hiyo mpango inahusikana na program yetu ya affordable housing. Mimi wakati wa uchaguzi nilisema tutapanga ajira ya vijana kupitia kwa mpango huu wa housing. Na housing
is this Robert Alai?
Ya wananchi peke yake. Ya wananchi ni muhimu. Na munaona Kenya mzima saa hizi,
and the DCI boss is on this side as well.
Tunaendelea kujenga na zingine 1,700 ziko njiani katika mpango wa affordable housing.
You can see Douglas Kanja as well.
Vile vile hatuchaacha askari wetu nyuma. Hawa askari ambao wanatusaidia kulinda maisha yetu, kulinda mali yetu, kuhakikisha kwamba kuna usalama katika taifa letu.
So he was releasing affordable housing project
ambapo pako na heshima. Tunaelewana jameni? Na ndio sababu hiyo hawa askari wetu wa polisi katika hii mpango ya housing tunawajengea nyumba 27,000.
27,000 houses.
Hapa Kilimani tunajenga hii nyumba 540 ya askari wetu. Mnajua askari hawa wamekuwa wakiishi mahali ambapo sio mzuri, wanaishi mahali penye msongamano, hawawezi kuishi na familia zao, na ni wazazi kama sisi. Ni kweli ama si kweli? Ndio sababu tumeamua kama serikali ya kwamba wakati tunapanga program ya Housing Kenya, ili tuwaokoe wananchi wengi wanaishi katika vitongoji duni, wale wanalipa rent tuwapatie mpango ya kulipa mortgage. Na hawa askari vile vile baada ya kuishi nyumba ya hema wakuje hapa waishi mahali pazuri, watoto wao waishi mahali pazuri, wasome, na vile vile watusaidie katika kujenga taifa letu la Kenya kwa kuhakikisha kwamba mali na maisha ya Wakenya iko salama. Tumekubaliana jameni? Na katika sehemu hii sasa hapa nimeambia waziri ya kwamba tunataka hii kazi vile inaendelea polepole. Tunataka tuongeze vijana hapa ambao watakuwa wanafanya kazi. Hawa vijana wanafanya kazi hapa ni wachache. So
that's Jalango as well. I can see Jalango.
Mimi nataka tuhakikishe ndani ya mwezi moja ama mwezi mbili tumebadilisha mwenendo, ili vijana zaidi ya wale wanafanya hapa wakuje hapa, tuharakishe hii kazi ili ikamilike ndani ya mwaka moja. Ndio wananchi
Kilimani iko Lang'ata.
Askari wetu wapate mahali pa kuishi, na wananchi zaidi na vijana zaidi wapate ajira. Ndio mimi nataka niwaeleze wananchi wa taifa letu la Kenya. Tunaelewana jameni? Tatizo kubwa Kenya tuko nayo ni vijana wengi wamemaliza shule lakini hawana kazi. Ni kweli ama si kweli? Na ili vijana wapate ajira lazima kuwe na mpango. Vijana hawawezi kupata ajira kiholela. Vijana hawawezi kupata ajira tukiharibu mali, tukilete fujo na tukiharibu amani. Vijana watapata kazi kama tuko na mpango. Na mimi nilisema ya kwamba tutakuwa na taratibu ya sawasawa ya kupanga ajira ya hawa vijana. Tukiongea saa hizi, tuko na vijana kama hawa wanafanya kazi katika program ya affordable housing, vijana 1320 Kenya mzima. Tuko na miradi kama hii 200 kila sehemu ya Kenya. Na kuna vijana kama hawa wanafanya kazi asubuhi ya leo katika hiyo miradi. Hawa vijana hawakukuwa nafanya kazi kwa sababu program hii haikukuweko. Now we have a program yenye itahakikisha kwamba vijana wa Kenya, maengineer, masorovea, wale architects, plumbers, technicians, hawa steel fixers, wale masons wanafanya kazi. Tunaelewana jameni? Kazi ya pili ambayo tumepanga ni kuhakikisha kwamba katika mitandao inaitwa digital jobs. Tuko na vijana wengine zaidi ya 1180 wanafanya kazi katika program ya digital jobs. Tuko na vijana wengine zaidi ya 1400 tumewapanga na ajira katika sehemu tofauti tofauti nje ya Kenya. In the last, kwa mwaka mmoja umepita ama miaka miwili imepita, vijana wengi hawa 320,000 wanafanya kazi affordable housing. 400,000 tumewapatia kazi sehemu tofauti tofauti duniani, in different countries. Almost 200,000 wanafanya kazi katika mitandao. That is how we are going to create opportunities for young people to work. Nyinyi mnanielewa? Unajua kuna watu wanachochea vijana. Wanachochea vijana waharibu mali, wachome biashara, wachome mali ya watu wengine, wakisema ya kwamba hawa vijana wanachoma mali kwa sababu hawana kazi. Mimi nataka niwaulize, supermarket ikichomwa, biashara ya mtu ikichomwa, ndio kazi itapatikana? Ndio kazi itapatikana? Mimi nataka niulize swali lingine. Unajua kuna watu wanataka kutuhadaa ya kwamba vijana wote walikuwa wanafanya kazi kabla Ruto hajakuwa rais. Mimi nataka niwaulize, Kenya hii, mnataka kuniambia vijana wote walikuwa na kazi kabla ya mimi kuwa rais? Hii kazi ya unemployment imeanza mimi nikiwa rais. Si hii ni shida imekuweko siku nyingi? Sasa tuambiane ukweli. Na mimi nataka niseme hapa tukiwa Nairobi, tuwache kudanganyana. Kama watu wako na maneno waseme. Na mimi nimechangia sehemu ya kuhakikisha kwamba vijana wamepata kazi. Nimechangia vijana 1320 kwa affordable housing. Nimechangia vijana karibu 1200 kwa digital jobs. Nimechangia kazi majuu ile tumepanga na nchi zingine, karibu vijana 1400 wamepata kazi. Mimi nauliza, vile mimi nimetoa orodha ya yale nimefanya vijana wapate kazi, nataka watuambie zile serikali ingine walifanya kazi gani. We must tell each other the truth. Tuwache kuwachochea vijana wa Kenya. Kazi ya unemployment haikuanza wakati wa serikali hii. In fact, shida ya unemployment ni kwa sababu hatujakuwa na mpango ama taratibu ya serikali vile nimeweka. Ndio tumekuwa na mrindiko mkubwa, a huge pile up of unemployed youth, because we have never had a comprehensive plan to make sure that young people have jobs the way we have it today. And therefore, let us not deceive ourselves, and let us not incite the young people of Kenya on matters unemployment. It cannot be sorted out in one day. It was never sorted out by the previous administrations. I am working on it now. That is why we have 320,000 young people working in our affordable housing. That is why we have 200,000 young people working in our digital jobs framework. And that is why we have 400,000 young people working outside Kenya today. Because for the first time, we have a plan on sorting out the challenge of unemployment. The reason why this problem is bigger than what it should be is because there has never been any plan before. And we must tell each other the truth.
Is that true? There have never been a plan to curb unemployment before. How about building factories? I think building factories would help.
Mimi nataka niwaulize, kwani vijana wote Kenya hii walikuwa na kazi kabla ya mimi kuwa rais? Tuache upuzi bwana. Hiyo ni upumbavu hiyo. Sijui kama tunaelewana. Tuko pamoja? Tunaelewana? So mimi nataka niwaambie viongozi hawa wa kuishiwa hapa, kwa sababu wanazunguka hapa town. Kwanza niliona ati wanasema ati sasa hawatangojea 2027 ati tupige kura. Ati wanataka kupanga fujo. Ati wapange maandamano. Ati wachome mali ya watu. Ati walete maafa Kenya. Ati ndio wapindue serikali ya Kenya kabla ya 2027. Mimi nataka niwaambie wajaribu. Watajua hawajui. Wajaribu. Allah. Hii ni Kenya ya demokrasia, my friends. Kenya ni nchi ya demokrasia. Hamuwezi kutuambia ya kwamba mnaweza kupanga fujo ati mpindue serikali ya Kenya. Tafuteni vizuri. Sijui kama tunaelewana. I want to tell those characters, the ones who are telling us, giving us lectures, that they can change this administration using unlawful, using violence, using unlawful means at before 2027. Let them try. Tunaelewana? Wajaribu. Hii ni nchi ya demokrasia na wananchi ndio wanaamua kwa debe uongozi wa taifa letu la Kenya. Hatuwezi kuamua ati uongozi wa Kenya kupitia fujo ama kupitia vita ama kuharibu mali ya watu wengine. That is not going to happen in this country. Sijui kama tunaelewana jameni. Tuko pamoja? Wafikirie vizuri. Na mtu unajua wananiambia sijui nini, sijui Moi. Moi alikuwa rais wa Kenya. Vile Kibaki alikuwa rais wa Kenya. Vile Uhuru alikuwa rais wa Kenya. Na kabla ya Moi kulikuwa na Kenyatta. Na baada ya Moi kulikuwa na Kibaki. Na baada ya Kibaki kulikuwa na Uhuru. Hii kisirani ni ya nini? Hapana. Hiyo ni upuzi. Sijui kama naelewana bwana. Tuko pamoja? Hii fujo yote wananiletea. Mbona hawakuletea Kibaki? Mbona hawakuletea Uhuru? Hii madharau na kiburi ni ya nini? Hapana, hiyo mchezo tuache. Sijui kama naelewana bwana. Let us sort out our problems. Tuache ukabila, tuache chuki, tuache kiburi, tuache madharau. Sisi wote ni wa Kenya. We are all Kenyans. Na hakuna Mkenya bora kuliko mwenzake. Sisi wote ni wa Kenya. Ama mnasemaje watu wa Nairobi? Tumekubaliana? Na kuna watu wanafikiria kwamba wataendesha fujo Kenya hii. Juzi wamechoma mali ya wananchi. Supermarket imeporwa. Wameharibu mali ya wananchi. Wameharibu biashara ya wananchi. Na wao ni viongozi wamechochea hiyo maneno. Wanalipa vijana kwenda choma biashara ya ule. Kwenda choma biashara ya ule. Wale wote ambao wamepatikana katika hiyo njama ya kuiba na kupora mali ya wananchi na kuchoma biashara za watu wengine, watachukuliwa hatua ya sheria na wote watafungwa. Na wao viongozi wao, we are coming after you. You cannot sponsor violence in the Republic of Kenya and expect to go scot-free. Sijui kama tunaelewana. Na mimi nataka niwaambie wa Kenya, mtu yeyote ambaye anaenda kupiga polisi, mtu yeyote anaenda kuvamia police station, That is a declaration of war in the Republic of Kenya. It is not acceptable. Sijui kama tunaelewana, my friends. No, enough is enough. Haiwezi kuendelea tena. I will protect property ya wananchi wa Kenya, maisha ya wananchi wa Kenya, biashara ya wananchi wa Kenya. It is the responsibility of the government of Kenya, which I lead, that is going to make sure hii vita ya kuharibu mali na kuchoma biashara ya watu itakoma. It must stop. Sijui kama tunaelewana. And we are going to use whatever means that is available to make sure that we stabilize the country. We cannot accept mayhem and anarchy to destroy the development we have in this country. Sasa mimi naulize watu wa hapa Kilimani. Nyumba tunajenga kama hii. Hata watu washenzi wanakuja kuwakisha moto wachome. Surely. Ni nchi tunajenga ama ni nchi tunabomoa? Alafu watu wanatuambia Kiingereza sijui siasa nini. Hapana, that will not go on. You can call me whatever names you want to call me, but I will make sure that there is peace and stability in Kenya by all means possible. Sijui kama tunaelewana, my friends. Hapana, hii kuchoma mali ya wananchi itakoma. Mwananchi anahangaika miaka nyingi kutengeneza biashara yake. Mwananchi anapanga mambo yake. Alafu mtu mwanasiasa, mtu mjinga anakuja anapanga maandamano, anapanga fujo, mali ya mwananchi inaharibika, alafu wanatuambia ni siasa. Hiyo ni siasa gani? Hiyo ni siasa? Na kama wako na mpango, si tukutane 2027? Watengeneze sera yao, tukutane na hawa 2027. Njia ya mkato hapa katikati hakuna. Tumekubaliana watu wa Nairobi? Yes. Na wasikie vizuri. Wasikie vizuri. Na waelewe. Tumekubaliana Nairobi? Mnasema tuendelee na kufanya kazi. This country will not be destroyed by a few people who are impatient and who want to have a change of government using unconstitutional means. It is not going to happen. And I want to tell them it is not going to happen. Sijui kama tunaelewana. Tumeelewana? Yes. Na kama walikuwa wanafikiria ile walikuwa wanafikiria, wafikirie tena. Because mimi nimenyamaza, mimi nimewavumilia, lakini mahali imefika. Enough is enough. I want to say that for the avoidance of any doubt. Sijui kama tumeelewana jameni. Tumeelewana? Wacha nirudie. Those who attack our police, those who attack our security men and women, those who attack our security installations, including police stations, that is a declaration of war. That is terrorism. We are going to deal with you firmly. Tumekubaliana? Hiyo haiwezekani. We cannot have a nation that is run by terror. We cannot have a nation that is governed by violence. We cannot, and it will not happen under my watch. Tumekubaliana, my friends? Tafadhali watu wa Nairobi tuheshimiane bwana. Si kila mtu tuheshimiane? Tuheshimiane. Sisi wote ni wa Kenya. Allah. Ama namna gani? No. Anyway, tumekubaliana namna hiyo. Tumekubaliana? Wacha nimuite Jalash. Nafikiri ni mbunge wa hapa.
Asante sana rais. Tunapofika hapa Kilimani, tunamshukuru sana Mheshimiwa Elijah. MCA pia wamekuja kutembea nawe na wako hapa wote. MCA wa Nairobi kwa mikono tu, Alai pia yuko hapa. Aongee tu kidogo kurepresent wale wa huku Kilimani.
Dagoa. Mwana rais. Mnamwambia rais aje. Mnamwambia rais aje. Mnamwambia rais aje. Mheshimiwa Rais, karibu sana. Mheshimiwa Rais, yangu ni moja tu, kwa sababu tumekuja police station, tunaomba tu kitu kimoja hapa Dago, au maaskari wanatusaidia sana. na tuna partner nao kwa mambo mengi sana, Kileleshwa Police Station, Mudhangari, Kilimani. Asanteni sana kwa kutusaidia kulinda amani hapa. Mheshimiwa Rais, hatujakuwa na vita hapa. Sasa naomba kitu kimoja, kwa sababu tunafanya hii project. Hapa kuna ka restaurant ya maaskari. Naomba tu contractor atengeneze hiyo restaurant iweze kusaidia maaskari kujiburudisha saa zile wamemaliza kazi. Si ndio? Si askari pia ni poa? Sasa unaambia rais aje? Mwanaambia rais aje? Mmekaribisha rais? Naomba mheshimiwa MCAs wabebe tu mkono ni watambulishe. Niko na mheshimiwa Clarence Munga wa Niko na mheshimiwa Joyce special elect. Niko na mheshimiwa Lore. Niko na mheshimiwa Masitsa. Niko na mheshimiwa Kimondo. Haya. Unataka Clarence aongee? Clarence aongee? Haya.
Wananchi wa Dagoe, Rais mtukufu, kwa majina anajulikana kama Clarence Munga, MCA wa huko Kabiro. Last time ukiwa kule ulipita Kawangware, ukatupita pale Kabiro, ukaenda Gatina. Lakini tulikuwa na mengi sana ya kukuambia rais. Wananchi mtanikubalia? Rais, tuko jambo moja. Kuna barabara imetusumbua sana kwa muda mrefu kuanzia 2013. Hiyo barabara inaitwa Salim Road. The county government is unable to construct that road. Ninaomba tu ukipeana ishara watu wa Dagoretti watapona. Kitu ya pili rais, kumekuwa na vurugu huku na kule. Kawangware kulikuwa kumetulia. Sisi watu wa Kawangware tuko nyuma yako, tunakupenda. Shikilia hiyo steering vizuri sana na usitishwe na mtu. Ni sawa sawa? Asanteni watu wa Dagoretti, tunawapenda sana na Mungu awabariki.
Haya, naomba ni watambulishe tu MCS. Mheshimiwa Stazo whip wetu akuja tambulishe MCS alafu tumalize. Mheshimiwa Stazo.
Wana Nairobi mkoaje? Mko poa? Mheshimiwa Rais, mimi naitwa Stazo Omungala. Mheshimiwa Rais, leo umesema kitu ya maana. Hii nchi ni nchi ya kumcha Mungu. Na mambo ya siasa ni demokrasia. It's about the ballot. Hata hao ambao wanaleta shida walikuwa kwa ballot last election. Na wengine ulichaguliwa nao. So leo imekuwa aje? Sasa ile wako nje ndio inakuwa serikali ni mbaya. Na kama serikali ni mbaya, 2027 kwani ni mbali? Leo umeongea kitu ya maana Mheshimiwa Rais. Hii nchi umepewa panga ya kuchunga nchi. Hakuna mtu mwingine ana jukumu ya kuchunga nchi, ni wewe Mheshimiwa Rais. Hii nchi ikienda chini, wewe ndio tutakulaumu Mheshimiwa Rais. Na umepewa kila kitu ya kuchunga hii nchi. Umepewa dialogue, umepewa jeshi, umepewa polisi Mheshimiwa Rais. Kama raia hawezi heshimu polisi, nchi itatawala aje hapa Kenya Mheshimiwa Rais? Hiyo sisi tunakubaka kwa sababu hata hao ambao wanataka kutawala hapo mbele, wanataka kutawala nchi, wanataka kutawala msitu. So Mheshimiwa Rais, sisi tuko nyuma yako. So kwa hayo machache, Mheshimiwa Rais, niruhusu ni introduce MCAs wangu. Mimi ndio deputy whip hapa Nairobi. Hapa tuko na Kiogora MCA, tuko na Kimonda, tuko na Nairobi, tuko na Mark, tuko na VG, tuko na Lydia, tuko na Kimani, tuko na Shadi Boxer hapo, tuko na Clarence, tuko na chairlady wako wa UDA ambaye pia ni MCA, tuko na Nixo, tuko na Yuti pale, tuko na Oscar Lore, tuko na mrefu wa Ziwani, tuko na Ringo Mheshimiwa Rais, tuko na Jera, tuko na MCA Reki, tuko na Jekonia chairman wa Kibra ODM MCA, tuko na MCA wetu wa Kibra anaitwa Masitsa, tuko na Runi, tuko na MCA wa Njiru hapo, tuko na chair lady ODM na bado MCA mteule Catherine, tuko na Mofire. Asanteni sana, Mungu awabariki.
Sana. So nafikiri tumekubaliana. Hapa tuko na viongozi wengine wengi. Tuko na IG wetu Bwana Kanja, mpigeni makofi. Tuko na DIG wetu Bwana Masengeli, mpigeni makofi. Tuko na DCI wetu Bwana Amin, mpigeni makofi. Na officers wengine wengi. Tuko na mheshimiwa, tuko na PS wangu Bwana Omolo wa Interior yuko hapo. Tuko na PS wangu wa mambo ya housing, huyu muungwana ndiye anatusaidia kupanga hii manyumba, anaitwa Bwana Hinga. Na tuko na waziri Alice na viongozi wengine wengi hapo. So watu wa Nairobi nafikiri tumekubaliana. Huyu MCA wa kule nini amesema, Kabiro, Bwana Munga amesema kuna barabara pale. Tayari mimi nimeongea na gavana wenu na nimetoa pesa 2.1 billion ya barabara ya Nairobi. So mtapangana na yeye, hiyo pesa imekuwa release tayari na barabara tutawajengea hapa Nairobi. Tumekubaliana jameni? Watu wa Nairobi tumekubaliana? Na tumeelewana? Tunataka amani Kenya. Tunataka watu wafanye biashara. So mtu ambaye anaenda kuchoma biashara ya mtu mwingine, mtu ambaye anachukua moto, anaenda kuchoma biashara ya mtu, anaenda kuchoma mali ya watu wengine, mtu kama huyo apigwe risasi miguu, aende hospitali, akienda kotini. Yes. Yeah. Wasimuue lakini wapige hii miguu ivunjike ndio aende kotini, aende hospitali, akienda kotini. Hapana. Hatuwezi kukubali mtu ambaye anaamuka kwake anaenda kuchoma mali ya mtu mwingine, biashara ya mtu mwingine. Iko haki hapo kweli? Hapana, hiyo mchezo watu waache. Kwa hivyo mimi nataka niseme askari wasipige wananchi risasi kuwaua. Lakini muhalifu, mtu ambaye amechukua kazi kwenda kuvunja biashara ya mtu mwingine, ashughulikiwe, aende hospitali, akienda kotini. Asante sana, Mungu awabariki.
So that was his message to the people who are looting during this protest. He has given the order, washutiwe miguu, waende hospitali, wakiendanga polisi. Okay? Now we are going to see the reaction of Rigathi Gachagua before now we bring it all together and, see and talk about it, right? Let's see what Rigathi Gachagua said. It was a few hours later after the speech that we have seen from the president.
Political and social nosedive as a nation. Political and social nosedive as a nation. As a country, we, the people of Kenya, are being treated by William Ruto as less Kenyans at any given moment. Driven by the resolve for a better Kenya and patriotism, I've heard a call from the people of Kenya to speak into the matters that are of concern to them and all of us for our common good. On the 7th of July 2025, during the 35th anniversary of Saba, Kenyans from all walks of life led by Gen Zs, unarmed and peaceful, went to the streets. This is not the first demonstration that has happened in Kenya this year where lives have been lost and property destroyed. Unbeknown to these peaceful demonstrators, the tired regime of Ruto had a well-organized state-sponsored militia in cohort with the police and other state security agencies to maim, kill and destroy property and blame it on the Kikuyu community and specific leaders who are perceived unfriendly to this killer regime. This targeted profiling of the Kikuyu community and destruction of their specific business is an economic sabotage not new to the narrative of William Ruto. On the fative day, these state-sponsored militia, under instructions and guidance from the police, were dropped in different places in the country, and mostly in the Mount Kenya region and other regions not perceived friendly to the government. They were strategically dropped past midnight, and then roadblocks were placed by the police while others was dropped early in the morning. The militia were procured by Ruto. Governors and MPs allied to him. These regions include Nairobi, Kiambu, Kajiado, Kisii, Nyeri, Murang'a, Kiambu, Kirinyaga, Meru, Nyandarua, Kajiado, Kitengela, Ongata-Rongai, Machakos, Embu, and in Wote. They had clear instructions to loot and destroy specific properties under police supervision. A killer squad of 101 that works under the Director General of the National Intelligence Service, Nuruddin Haji, was armed with assault rifles and drove in a convoy of unmarked Subarus, shooting and killing innocent protesters aimlessly in the streets and estates. This squad in Subarus, hooded and masked against court orders, are disguising themselves as DCI's officers, yet we know they are not. In fact, I would like to clarify that the National Intelligence Service has procured Subarus to give an impression that this killer gang is from the DCI. The truth of the matter is that this has nothing to do with the DCI. This is the National Intelligence Service. And this squad of 101 people was formed when I was still in government. Officers were recruited from the Administration Police Unit for special training by NIS on abductions, killings, and cover-up. And this is a squad that is killing the people of Kenya. The killings and the business destruction pattern point to William Ruto's ethnic profiling narrative, which he is a master with no rival. With a close coordination of PS Interior Raymond Omolo, this narrative was boosted online by state bloggers to spin the narrative. The Cabinet Secretary Kipchumba Murkomen's public to shoot to kill order, coupled with assurances to police officers that the government will not cooperate with the investigators in police conduct, has emboldened security forces. Police officers are now on record threatening citizens who are in their homes, boasting of their license to kill, acting with a confidence that can only come from the highest echelons of power. Mr. Murkomen's admission that these are not just instructions from him but orders from above removes any ambiguity about where responsibility lies. It will be recalled that in the run-up to the 2007 general election and its aftermath, the narrative of 41 against 1 was a masterpiece of William Ruto. The target was profiling Kikuyus against the rest of the country. To a large extent, he succeeded, and every Kenyan knows what happened, and it is also fresh in his mind of the ICC ordeal still hanging on the neck of William Ruto today. We remind William Ruto that his ICC cases are not yet over. They have been posed after witnesses disappeared, and what he is pretending over are crimes under the Rome Statute. It is clear history is repeating itself, and the architect William Ruto is back on the deck. He is hell-bent to finish his unfinished business with the people of Mount Kenya, destroy their businesses, and make them black sheep of Kenya. Despite this horrible experience, the people of Mount Kenya voted William Ruto to a man in 2022 general elections against the advice of President Uhuru Kenyatta, whom Mr. Ruto had branded as a drunkard and a useless leader. Today, the people of Kenya, and especially the Mount Kenya region, feel sorry that they did not heed to the advice of Uhuru Kenyatta. These state-sponsored militia were key in touching of various parts of the country with ease of police assistance to prefer terrorism charges on specific people from the Mount Kenya region. So far, about 50 young people are in courts in trumped-up charges of terrorism in scenarios of state-managed crimes by the state. Again, this is a clear onslaught on the Kikuyu nation. A case in point, when a police station in Mawego in Homa Bay County was torched, the suspects for that particular crime have been charged with arson. But when a police station is alleged to have been torched in Kiambu, suspects from the Kikuyu nation are charged with terrorism charges. This is serious ethnic profiling. Last night, in Juja and Kirinyaga, these state-sponsored militia invaded various businesses. Luckily, in Kirinyaga, after wananchi went to Sagana police station and they refused to act, saying they had orders from above not to interfere, the people organized themselves and repulsed the militia. Mr. Ruto's ethnic profiling has led to the destruction of the foreign properties belonging to the people of Mount Kenya. Maguna supermarkets in Meru, Kahawa West and Muranga. Nice supermarkets, hotel and petrol station, and nice city in Mwea in Kirinyaga. County supermarkets in Kabati and Kirinyaga. Power Star supermarkets, Quick Mart supermarkets in Eastern Bypass, Shell and Total Min markets in Roiro, Chill Post Hotel in Gong, Boju Shop in Keserian, Homegrown Supermarket among others, and the Family Bank in Kahawa and Roiro. Notably, in Meru, these state-sponsored militia tried to attack Meru Dairy Processing Plant and were repulsed by workers. In Nyeri, they further tried to attack Wakulima Dairy in Mukurweini, and the attack failed. We urge our businesses to heighten security surveillance on their business premises and production lines, especially the KTDA, coffee factories, milk processing factories, among others. We take note that in Meru, on Sunday, the 6th of July, at an event attended by CS Kipchumba Murkomen, the MP for Bori, Mugambire Dikire, indicated that a supermarket would be attacked the following day. As sure as December 25 is Christmas, and true to his word, Maguna supermarket was touched by the state-sponsored militia, which the MP was privy to. Why hasn't Mugambire Dikire been arrested? How did he know that a supermarket would be attacked? This is selective justice. The evidence that these militias are state-sponsored is plain for all to see. Videos circulating widely show police officers not merely failing to intervene, but actively transporting armed groups who proceed to unleash destruction with apparent impunity. Uniformed officers have been seen standing guard as these groups rampage. They are in action and a stark contrast to strong statements being made by government. In Nyeri, journalists were attacked by these militias in the presence of the police. It is well documented. This is a clear indicator that Ruto is working with governors and MPs allied to him to destroy businesses owned by the Kikuyu, the Meru, and the Embu, and blame it on people who don't support his administration. This is a tactic that was used by the colonialists with collaborators who searched earth policy and touched buildings and businesses and blamed it on the Mau Mau. This divide and rule tactic will not work, Mr. Ruto. We know that in Meru, they want to use this mayhem to blame Mithika Linturi. In Embu, they have already blamed Mkonji Gitonga. In Kitengela and Gong, they want to target Senator Seki and MP Onesmus Ngogoyo. In Nyeri, they are trying to haunt Honorable Kagusha. And in Kirinyaga, they are targeting Senator Murango. We want to remind President Ruto that it is not the Kikuyus who want him out of office. It is the entire people of Kenya. Kenyans are suffering equally across the country. That is why Kenyans have said, if you, Mr. William Ruto, believe that it is the Kikuyus who want you out, then all Kenyans are Kikuyus. I want to thank the people of Kenya for standing out against this tribal profiling of the Kikuyu. The people of Kenya yesterday did wonderful by saying that the Kikuyus should not be profiled. This morning, I've seen Ruto quivering and wailing in uncontrollable anger. Mr. Ruto.
Sporty TV YouTube promo, 20 seconds, action.
Okay, I'll start. We've got the best live football in the world. And
excessive anger is not a solution. I want, with a lot of humility, to advise you to stop being angry. That will not help. You need to know what you need to do because you have not been listening to the people of Kenya. The people of Kenya are more angry than you are. They are angry because you have overtaxed them. There is wanton corruption. There is abductions and extrajudicial killings. There is ethnic profiling and other ills that bedevil your administration. If you want to be calm, please abolish the housing levy and give dignity to the peace slave. I have heard you saying that you cannot give jobs to the young people. Please restore the dignity of the payslip. Restore the capacity of the middle class. The middle class will give jobs to these young people. Stop killing and profiling the young people. Listen to them. Stop abductions and extrajudicial killings. Abolish, disband the killer squad of 101 officers at Danudin Hajj. Give hustlers the jobs that you promised them. Mr. William Ruto, you are the one who promised. You cannot cry today that you have no solution, saying that other presidents have not been able to do it. You are the one who promised these young people. Stop police brutality. Stop abductions and illegal detentions. Get the hustlers from the bottom of the economic pyramid as you promised. Yes, Mr. President, we agree there were other presidents before you, as you have rightly stated, and true, they never went through what you are experiencing today. May it please you to know that the reason why Kenyans rarely had problems with them, Mwai Kibaki and Uhuru Kenyatta were guided by the Constitution and the rule of law. They did not capture our constitutional institutions to work for them instead of working for Kenyans. They never killed children. They never attempted to build churches in State House. They never organized militias to destroy people's property and kill them. That is why you have a problem. And we also want to remind you that Mwai Kibaki had a difficult time from you, William Ruto. Videos are everywhere. You cannot say that Mwai Kibaki did not face resistance. It's on record that you gave hell to President Kenyatta for 5 years. So it is hypocritical for you to allege that Mwai Kibaki and Uhuru Kenyatta had a very easy time. Most of the problems Mwai Kibaki and Uhuru Kenyatta had came from yourself, and it's on record. We want to advise you that the one-term movement is not getting you out of power outside the Constitution. Mr. President, nobody wants to throw you. Nobody wants to overthrow your government. Nobody wants you out of power through unconstitutional means. Mr. President, I and the people we work with are on record. We want to remove you from State House through the ballot in 2027. This narrative you are creating that there is an attempt to overthrow your government is for you to have the opportunity to use the Terrorism Act to profile communities and to persecute leaders who are opposed to your administration. Please relax. We want you to serve your one term. Nobody wants you out of government, and constitutionally, nobody has any plan to overthrow your administration, Mr. President. We want to face you on the ballot in August 2027. So just relax and stop crying wolf that anybody wants you out of office unconstitutionally. There is no leader here who is planning a coup, and none has the capacity. And nobody is interested. The leaders in this country, and indeed 95% of the Kenyan population, want to humiliate you at the ballot. They will relish that moment. None of them would want you to go out through any other method, unless, of course, you decided to resign on your own volition. So please stop creating this narrative. This narrative is to enable you to use anti-terrorism law to persecute leaders and to persecute the Kikuyu community. If you speak out online, Mr. President, you want to use the Terrorism Act to harass people. If you dare challenge your administration, you want to use the Terrorism Act to deal with people who are opposed to your administration. My fellow Kenyans, let us not be deceived. William Ruto has stripped away even the pretense of democracy. What we are witnessing is not the rule of law, but the rule of fear. This is not the behavior of a government that serves its people. This is the machinery of outright dictatorship. Finally, I want to announce to the people of Kenya that tonight I will be traveling to the United States of America to talk to the Kenyans in diaspora and the international community about the state of the nation. I would have wanted to stay in the country at this very difficult time when our people are under siege, but I have engagements that I'm not able to postpone. I have been threatened by people close to William Ruto, who called some of my people today, that they will want to stop me from leaving the country. I have no problem. If you want to come and arrest me at the airport, as you are threatening us, you can go ahead. I don't have a problem. You cannot sell fear to us. You know, even if you sold us fear, we cannot buy, you know. And therefore, as I'm out of the country, unless I'm stopped from going, and if I'm stopped from going, I'm still okay. I'll be here because this is my country. We have made sufficient arrangements with other leaders in the united opposition to create a pool of lawyers to come in through for our young people who are being persecuted on trumped-up charges of terrorism. And I want to explain. I have heard the president saying that people have attacked police stations and the law courts. It was all stage managed by the MP for Kikuyu. How do you explain that people can walk into a police station and they are not armed and take over the police station from armed police officers? How do you go to the courts that are guarded by armed police officers and touch them? All these attacks of vital installations were stage managed by William Ruto through Kimani Ichung'wah to create the opportunity to prefer charges against people using the Anti-Terrorism Act. That is the reality. So nobody has attacked any police station. They were all stage managed by government. And what is happening is history is repeating itself. This is exactly what Moi did in the 80s against the Kikuyu community. After the abortive 1982 coup, he used sedition laws and the clandestine Kenya movement to profile the community and hound people into court, and they'll be taken by Bernard Chunga after 5 p.m. This is history repeating itself. I want to ask our people to be calm, to be cautious, and to be strong. I want to appeal to our young people, the Gen Zs. Looking at the scenario of what is happening and what William Ruto has planned, I want to ask my children, my sons and daughters, to consider applying the next onslaught against the President William Ruto by getting IDs and registering as voters so that they can deal with William Ruto on the ballot. Because I fear for them. Anytime they go out to the streets, they are killed like chicken. I would like to preserve to us these children. We would like to live with them. We would like to see them grow. And when we look at the desperation of William Ruto and the brutal force he is using against these children and the use of state militias to attack them, I'd like to plead with them to consider to join us, we in the opposition, by registering as voters. And in 2027, we'll be able to get rid of President William Ruto. William Ruto, finally, let me ask you a question. The Kikuyu nation, the Mount Kenya people, you call tribalists every day. These people you are waging war against, their businesses, are the same people who voted for you, even after what you did to them in 2007. They forgave you and considered you as a person they can elect as president. You have turned against the community. You are trying to mobilize other Kenyans to profile them and to fight them, but they have refused. These same people from Mount Kenya have the capacity to support somebody else. It must not be you. And they proved that they are not tribal by voting for you when you are Kalenjin. They can vote for a Kamba. They can vote for a Kisi. They can vote for a Luya. They can vote for a Maasai. That sense of entitlement that you are having to the Mount Kenya vote is misplaced. They voted for you, yes. You betrayed them. You turned against them. They don't have to vote for you again. Please stop persecuting them into submission. They will not submit to your brutality, to your vicious attack against them and their leaders. That I want to tell you for free today. I've listened to you talking with a lot of anger, calling them tribalists. They are not. How can they be tribalists when they voted for you and you are not one of them? But you don't have a sense of entitlement that they must vote for you. You know what you have done to them and why they have reacted the way they have. And I want to assure you, you cannot scare them into submission. Even if you jail them, they will not submit. These are seasoned descendants of the freedom fighters, and they cannot be intimidated. So let me encourage my leaders here as I go away to remain strong, to remain focused, and to speak for the people of Kenya. I am
Eve to me is basically freedom. It's a giant open universe where you can
very, I have a lot of gratitude to the Honorable Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka and Eugene Wamalo, who have been caught the whole of yesterday and today, standing strong and defending our young people who have been framed and charged with treason. For those two leaders, I want to give them the gratitude of my community and our leadership. They have come through for a community when it's under siege, and we are indeed very, very grateful. I want to ask our leaders here to be vigilant and to continue speaking out to the people of Kenya. Should the situation get out of hand and I need to cut my trip short and come back to join the other leaders in defending our people and speaking for them, I will gladly do so. Thank you very much.
That's comprehensive.
I don't think iko maswali hata kidogo. Labda ile watu ya Kameme iko Nairobi. Muko tayari wale watu ya Kifaransa?
Okay, so that's what transpired. We have seen what President William Ruto had to say, and we've also seen what Rigathi Gachagua has to say. So, do you agree with what these two leaders have to say? Because President William Ruto was saying that those who are looting during protest, they should be shot in the leg, waende hospitali, wanini, alafu waende kotini. That was his opinion on the people who are looting during protests. From Rigathi Gachagua, okay, me, I don't agree with him. I mean, like, I don't know why this conversation is taking a very ethnic turn, right? Where it's starting to be an ethnic conversation. I don't know. Of course, that's how he has decided to do his politics and speak for Mount Kenya. But I was hoping that Kenya, we are moving away from that ethnic conversation, and it shouldn't be a division of there's this community or this other community or this other community. We should all, these issues are affecting us all as Kenyans. And recently there has been this ethnic conversation that has been propping up, that there is violence towards Mount Kenya people, and there's these groupings that, and we must all remember that where we have come from as a country, we cannot forget how, like, it will not be a very good conversation for us to go back to speaking in ethnic terms And of course, yes, as politicians, I know there there are those politicians who decide to do their politics in ethnic communities, and that's how they decide to gain votes. But I think in 2027 we should start having this conversation of issues, right? Because just the way President Ruto has said that this is an issue of many youths being unemployed, right? And we need to find a solution to our unemployed youths, right? And the frustration that is propping up from the unemployed youth. This ethnic conversation is not it's not the way to go as Kenyans, because unemployment affects everyone in Kenya. It's not for a certain community, or it affects everybody. Just a minute. As I was saying, like, this conversation affects so many people. So, but I mean, when I hear Rigathi Gachagua speak, and he's speaking for Mount Kenya, I don't know. I don't think that's the direction that we should be going towards, right? And the regards of shooting, I don't think they should shoot anybody. Just arrest them. If someone is doing, of course, he has given the order the way he has given it, but I would say if you find if someone is breaking the law, let them be arrested and let the law take its course, right? But also, I agree with Rigathi when he says that what we should do now is, if you are a young person, you have your ID, please prepare to vote, right? Please prepare yourself to vote in come 2027. That's where your voice will be heard. That's where it will make a difference, right? That's where your opinion will be heard. Okay? Because if we are saying that whatever we are seeing is not to our liking, and we want something different, then let's put that conversation in the ballot, right? So I do agree with both leaders when they say the change will be made in 2027. And that is true, right? But also we do speak about issues that are going on and affecting us right now, right? Because we have been talking about police brutality. That's a very big issue here in Kenya. And we don't want to be, there are a lot of reports of, for example, during that Saba, so many people died. And it's like, we have to have a better solution. Amboy Karaoke here is saying, excuse me, we cannot escape the current profiling of Gikuyu and our businesses. Maybe you are a bit younger. In 2007, did you visit IDP camps of Gikuyu people evicted from their homes in Rift Valley? And my point is, like, I'm not disputing the history of Kenya. In Kenya, we've had a tribalistic issue. But after 2007, that's a conversation that we decided, because me growing up, that's a conversation that I knew it's not a conversation that I want to have when I discuss issues about Kenya. I have never grown up seeing, I don't know, the tribe of someone. Okay? I've never grown up I've had so many friends from all ethnic back, it did not cross my mind that huyu sijui ni wa tribe flani, so I should not talk to them, or huyu sijui ni wa wapi, so I cannot be friends with them. And that was because after 2007, by the way, what happened was not right. But after that, we are saying we want a different conversation. Hatutaki kuongea kuhusu tribes. Hatutaki kuongea within, especially when we are talking about issues that affect Kenya. Kwa nini tuongea in tribe terms? And for the politicians, okay, it's advantageous to them to talk in terms of tribes because that's where the numbers are when you're saying mtu wetu mtu wao. But if you look at the Kenyan climate today, right now, and unemployment si ya Kikuyu, si ya Wajaluo, si ya wa Kalenjin, unemployment ni ya kila msee. Unemployment in a face everyone. When the economy is bad, it does not choose to be bad where. It chooses to be bad everywhere. And that's why we are saying we want Kenya to be a country that our politics is done on issues, not on ethnicity or mtu wetu. Who is mtu wetu? At the end of the day, mimi nikikuja hapa kwa nyumba and I don't have food, mtu wetu ananisaidiaje? Mtu wako atakusaidiaje kama kwa nyumba upati hauna food, hauna job, hauna place ya kuishia, uko frustrated, uko depressed, mtu wako atakusaidiaje? And that's what we have to realize as me as a young person. That's what I want. 27 ikifika, niko hapo nikisikiza manifesto ya, and we forget that one of the reasons why people voted for William Ruto is because he stepped us away with the bottom-up economy. Mambo ya hustler, are we forgetting? That's why people bought into him, and that's why people loved him, because he spoke in the bottom-up economy, and that at that time it was an issue that touched everyone, and we were like, yeah, unemployment is a very big issue hapa, na si tuna feel hatuskizwi, like the normal Kenyan is not benefiting from the current, and that is the narrative that was there in 2022, and that's the narrative that most Kenyans bought to, and they voted for him because they were like, tunataka ushughulikie mama mboga, and everyone who, the normal Kenyan, okay? And even the dissatisfaction, when we talk about Kenyan, it's still about unemployment. So 2027, by the way, mimi the leader I'm looking for ni mwenye anatuambia mambo ya kuwa ana address, mwenye anatuambia venye tuna address unemployment, tunai address aje. That's who me that's the conversation I want to hear. I don't want to hear about mtu wetu or sijui mtu wao. That's not a conversation I'm willing to have with any leader. Tell us, how are we planning to cure the unemployment, right? And me, I feel like we should be talking about developing industries. Industries ndio zina make difference. It will create mass employment for so many people. Wasn't Ruto the mastermind? And the mastermind now, this is a conversation that we cannot ignore. But it's a conversation that we should not be. Let's not talk about it, who was the mastermind of what. If you are unsatisfied with Ruto 2027, let's do that. Let's vote. We should not agree with any violence. And let's, in 2027, let's talk about issues. Loss of life is yes, it's a serious issue, loss of life. But tunaongea kuhusu loss of life in terms of police brutality. And that's the conversation that we've been having over the past few weeks. Yani police brutality in a letter a loss of life, and we shouldn't have that. And that's the issue that we are talking about, right? Because if you just have an agenda against someone, then you're not talking about an issue. Because I can disagree with you, I can agree with your politics, or I can disagree with your opinions, but at the end of the day, I think when we talk about issues, that's where we make a difference. And that's what we are talking about today. We are saying, how can we make a difference? Si mambo ya tu ati tuongee politics tusikie vizuri, ama ni rant nisikie juu sijui nani amenichosha. Now I want to rant, I want to say, I want to see someone, I want to abuse someone until I feel. How does that change anything? It doesn't change your situation. But if my thinking can get through to you and can make sense to someone else and to someone else, that's how we effect change. Because we are saying loss of life. Yes, there has been loss of life in Kenya. But how has that been happening? Through police brutality. Over the few weeks, it has been through police brutality. So let's deal with that issue. Let's say police brutality is a no. If you're a police person and you are caught killing someone, you go to jail. Let the process take its course, right? And if you're also a civilian who is creating unrest in the country, ingia ndani. You know, that's what the constitution is for. There are rules that we as Kenyans accepted, and we say these are the rules of that we want to govern us. These are the laws that we want to govern us. So let's use them. You know, that's why I'm saying hii mambo ya kushoot watu mguu, me I don't agree with that. Tika mtu. If someone is caught destroying, hata wewe mwenye umeenda kuprotest, ukiona mtu ana destroy, unam forward kwa polisi. Because yes, we cannot have a lawless country, but we should discuss about issues. Si tuku my feelings. If we talk about our feelings and when they are hurt, we are not going to make any progress. You know? And yes, there is a lot of hurt in Kenya, and there is a lot of wounds. You know? And that's why I'm saying we cannot have this ethnic conversation that is slowly creeping in when we in modern Kenyan politics. Tunaanza kuongea kuhusu ethnicity a bit too much. You know? Because like, is this the direction that we are going? Are we going to be voting again along ethnic lines in 2027? You know? Wamboi Karaoke says, we make a difference when we are all rounded. Good governance is what we should be about. We make a difference when we are all rounded. Good governance is what we should be talking about, which encompasses everything. Protect life, following the rule of law, and the constitution system. Yes. Let's talk about issues, right? Let's talk about protection of life, following the rule of law and the constitution and the systems, right? Let's not talk about mtu wetu na mtu wao na mtu sijui wa wapi. Iyo no. Yes, and of course unasema ati I was too young in 2007. Okay, but I hope that I have learned from history, and I have learned from seeing what ethnic divisions can do to a country and can do to me, to say, hey, that is not a conversation that I want to have. I don't want to be mtu wetu or mtu wao or mtu wa where. You know? So, I don't know why I'm so it's just happening. It's happening. This hii mambo ya ethnicity, it's just going that way, and it's a very dangerous conversation, if you ask me. It's a very yeah. Yes, if we are demanding for good governance, if we are that's what 2027 is for. Ikifika 2027, if you feel that the governance is not to your liking, it's not good, let's do the voting. And that's the part that I agree with both of these leaders. Let's do 2027. And in 2027, let's talk about the issues. Na isikuwe mtu wetu. Otherwise, me, that's all I have to say. Thank you so much for watching. Tuonane next time.